Hi, I'm Linda Wilson. I'm a retired public school teacher and Montessori teacher, and welcome to Birthright Reading. I'm going to teach you how to teach a child how to read, or yourself how to read, or if you're a public school or private school teacher and need to learn more about phonics, I'm going to teach you all you need to know about phonics to make your classroom go from B's and C's to A's. And if you're a grandmother and teaching a younger child or a grandson or granddaughter, I'm going to help you also. Here's the book, Birthright Reading. You can get it on Amazon.com and the cost is $15. Everything I'm going to tell you and show you is in this book. If you have questions and want to know something, you can write me at birthrightreadingyahoo.com. So if you want the book, it's Birthright Reading, the ad series at amazon.com. And if you have questions, it's birthrightreading at yahoo.com. We're going to start each lesson with the pledge. So let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to go back and talk a little bit about the pledge. We are one nation, indivisible. That means undivided, one nation under God. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you run your classroom like that we are one classroom and we are working together, and our idea is to treat everybody fairly and equally, you will have success, success, success. Phonics is the science of language. In science, 50% or above is excellent. Phonics is 87% in the patterns. So phonics is a perfect example of how science works. The reason we have so much failure in the United States of America is on this one page right here. These simple lessons on this page right here are not being taught and being taught properly, and they aren't being taught year after year. The same lesson in pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Honestly, you shouldn't have to teach any reading beyond second grade. And if you have anything higher than a 3% failure rate, there's something wrong, because there's only two reasons for failure. One, if a student doesn't come to school, and second, if once the student is at school, the student does not attend. So if you have those two things, the student is here and the student is paying attention, and if you're not having success, the problem is with the curriculum. And I'm going to give you a curriculum that is guaranteed to be successful. My mission statement really comes from Dr. Barbara Clark in her textbook, Growing Up Gifted. She believes it is the natural state that every child be in the category that we now call gifted. And how do we attain that? Through environment and early stimulation. So the stimulation we're going to do is through the five senses, and we're going to create an environment of success, patterns, and acceptance. We have 26 letters that make up 43 sounds, and these are just the ABC lowercase letters that you can get at any dollar store. They're $1.25 now, and all I did on these was paint the vowels red and the consonants blue. You don't have to do that, but it's just helpful. It's easy to do. And if you're in a classroom, you need one set for every child. At home, you only need one set. And rather than say the name of the letter, we know how to say the name. With phonics, you need to know the sound. And every day you need to sing abacada, efaga, ha, ijaka, lamana, apaqua, rasata, avawa, yaza. Now I sound my abacas. Next time, won't you sound with me? It's really important that you say the sounds. And in the classroom, don't say, oh, I see an A over there. Say, I see an A. And what are you doing with that A? Use the letter sound. And don't worry about the schwa sound, at the end. That's perfectly okay, because when you sound it and put it together, you easily drop it when you say the word. And what we are going to learn how to do is decode. Here's another example of the abacus, and the little dots, and they're in the book. And that's to teach the child how to focus and touch. And you are going to focus on the lowercase letters, because 98% of everything that you read is in lowercase. You will show the uppercase, but it's not that important. What's important are the lowercase letters. In Montessori, we have what's called sensitive periods for learning. So it's really important that you teach the child at a young age. The first book in Birthright Reading is what I call book 0, and it has all those abaca, ABC letter sounds. And honestly, this is something that you can read to the child from the first day they're born on. Apple. Ba, bat. Ca, cat. Da, dog. Egg. Fa, fan. Gum. Ha, hat. Ink. Jam. King. Log. Mop. Net. Ox. Pig. Quilt. Rat. Sun. Tag. Umbrella. Van. Wagon. X-ray. Yam. Zebra. And here's the abacus song to sing. Make sure that you do that book 0 over and over. Let the child do it by themselves. But that book 0 is the key to success in Birthright Reading. Again, the reason we have a problem with reading in America is in the 50s, we left out phonics and went to Dick and Jane and the look-say reading. And memorizing thousands of words is not the way to read. And all you have to do is learn 43 sounds and how to decode and blend them together. and that's what reading is all about. One of the best reading series, I collect them, was Hey Wingo Reading with Phonics. It was one of the last great phonics reading series. This is what the teacher's book looked like, and this is what all teachers' books should look like, and this is what the reader looked like. And when you started reading with this book, the student couldn't read at all, and at the end of the book, let me show you what they can read. Plantation, starvation, foundation, education, transportation, hesitation, vaccination, occupation, and celebration. Words easily like that. Who knows children that can read like that in 1 year? That's the way American reading used to be. I became interested in phonics after I became a Montessori teacher, and a beautiful person came to I had a home Montessori school, and Charlotte Lockhart, a retired principal from Illinois, came to my home Montessori school. And even though I knew how to use the Montessori equipment and do the Montessori sound and blend things together, I wasn't sure about how to put it all together for reading. Charlotte wrote this book, Discover Intensive Phonics for Yourself, taught it to myself and the parents in my school, and was never able to find a publisher, and so she self-published it and went to Australia and had lots of success. After I retired from teaching, and by the way, I had lots of success in school. They made a short movie about me. I never had any failure. The 1 year I was assigned second grade, and they decided to put all the failure students together, and if you failed second grade that year, that meant that you had to be in the 50th percentile or lower to get in the failing group. And I volunteered to take that group of second graders, and I asked the principal what she expected, and she said, I expect them to all be on level. I said, okay. And so what I did is showed them how to decode their vocabulary words and their spelling words, and I'm going to show you what I did. Hold on one moment. Every child in my classroom had a movable alphabet. You can make a movable alphabet with ABCs that you can buy, or you can make it with paper. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It'll cost you practically nothing. And I still remember the day when the bulk of the students understood what we were doing. I saw the transformation in their eyes. And at the end of the year, everyone passed in my room, and 3 students scored above the 97th percentile, and that indicated that they were on the gifted level. So think of this. Last year in first grade they were failures. This year they were gifted. How does that happen? It's because we don't know how to teach reading. So we've talked about the sensitive periods for reading, and what you want to do is let the children play with sounds and use them boldly, and that's how they experiment and learn. After I retired, my niece called me and said, help, help, I need help. My daughter is failing, and I helped her, and in a few months she went from failing to, of course, being on level. And I realized something at the time when she called, that I automatically decoded or sounded all of the Dolch. The Dolch words are really important. They're words every year in reading your child will be responsible for knowing. And I never memorized anything. I taught them how to sound everything. And I realized after talking with her that the problem was she was just memorizing words, and particularly the vocabulary words. And so I went on, ordered a book by Edward William Dolch, because I thought that is so weird that this is supposed to be words that you memorize, because I don't believe in that, and I couldn't believe that he believed in that. And these are all the bookmarkers that I put in this book, where he tells you that reading is phonics and sounding. That for some reason we got it all confused. When Dolce said these are words that you need to know at this level, he was saying these are high frequency usage words that your child uses often in vocabulary and speaking, and you need to teach these words first. But he didn't mean that you had to memorize. He just wanted you to teach them how to sound these words. Okay, birthright reading is life affirming. Your child will go from reading to all other categories, being successful. Sounding is a gift from God. Gifts from God are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you cannot read, you will not be happy, and you will not feel free. Phonics is God intended. It's exactly the way that babies sound and babble. That babble is really important. It is directly connected to reading. Sounding is the beginning of free speech. What sounding does that memorizing words does not do is teach thinking and reasoning. And one rule that's really important to remember is that memorizing and sounding don't mix. If you have a word that is cannot be decoded, you just tell the student that word, that letter doesn't make the proper sound, and tell them the sound that it's making. Well, that's the introduction to birthright reading. We're going to stop here. The next lesson is I'm going to tell you what to do the first week of school, how to get started, because you don't want to lose any time in reading. Have a great day, and God bless America.